Welcome to Rise Up in Business, the law podcast for small business owners. I'm your host, Tracy Myler-Crane. I'm a business lawyer, an entrepreneur, and very much a realist. Rise Up in Business is designed to share with small business owners important legal information and some clever tips and tricks in short and sharp episodes, no legal jargon. With this podcast, I want to empower small business owners to rise up and take control in their business. I'll be here every Wednesday to tell you what you need to know without sending you to sleep. Let's get into today's episode. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Season 4 of the Rise Up in Business podcast. I hope you are enjoying the fabulous guests that I've been bringing on so far this season, because I know that you're really going to enjoy my conversation today. Today I'm talking with Kylie Tyrrell. Kylie is a Melbourne-based interior designer with her own business, Gold Chalk Styling. And whilst she offers a range of ways clients can work with her for interior design assistance, she also does a lot more than that in her business. Kylie has a mentoring program for other business women who are in this space, and she supports them and helps them build their own interior design and styling businesses. Kylie, welcome.
Thank you, Tracy. So nice to be here today.
I'm so pleased that you were able to join me, and I'm really looking forward to this chat.
I'm excited too.
For the benefit of my listeners, Kylie and I have worked together when we collaborated for me to develop Kylie's legals for her business, and that was a lot of fun, to be honest, and we've stayed in touch. Kylie and I are very similar in many ways, and we often chat outside of the business space and bounce ideas off each other, which has been really lovely. I think we're both very much think outside the square type people. We're not stuck in that mould of all those expectations of what business women should be like. Would that be fair to say?
Definitely. And I think, we've just had a really nice click, I think, where we've just felt comfortable. I know I have felt really comfortable asking you things. So you do definitely come across as someone that likes to step outside the box. And I like to do that too.
Well, I think we do it well, to be honest, if I can say so. And I think that there's a real synergy in our approaches to business because it's all centred around empowering women in business. So would you like to tell us about your mentoring program?
Yeah, so last year, I think it was during our first COVID snap that I decided that I'd get into helping women run their interiors businesses a little bit better. And I thought during COVID was a great time to start it because obviously we weren't allowed out in homes. So people had the time, or designers had the time. I felt like if I was working on myself, there'd be probably more women like me wanting to work on themselves and be the best designers or stylists or decorators that they could be. So I thought that mentoring could just be something that would tick a lot of my boxes and maybe also tick their boxes.
Well, I know that it's doing well because lots of your clients or the women that you work with reach out to me to help set them up and support them with their legal documents and their frameworks around their business. And from what I've heard, it's all been glowing so far. So that's good.
It's been a really, really beautiful process. Like the group becomes very intimate. I feel like they trust, they get to know me, I get to know them. There is a real exchange of trust. And I then pass on all the details of all the amazing women that I've worked with. And I pass on those details to the mentees, and they are just like sponges. They want to be the best versions of them in their business, and they want that information. They want to know where to go, they want to action it, and they want to get on with running their businesses properly. And that's why I think it works. It works for all of us.
Oh, look, that's a really good point. Tell me, what do you think holds women back from starting? So certainly from my perspective, I talk and support lots of women who have been sitting on ideas for so long and for whatever reason just haven't had not necessarily the drive but the confidence to back themselves and to really step out and prioritise what they want to do. But once they start, there's no stopping them. What are you finding holds women back before they eventually take the plunge and start working with you?
Look, I think for the women, there probably hasn't been a group like this. I think we've all wished for something like this type of group, but there hasn't actually been anything where they've felt confident to join a group where they can get the answers or raise questions or bounce ideas off one another. So I think providing that space has been really important. But the number one factor that holds them all back so far, and I survey them all before they come into the group, and I survey them when they leave the mentor program or once we finish the 6 weeks together, it's fear. They have this fear that they're going to not get it right, or that they just don't know where to start. They don't know. It just paralyzes them. Fear paralyzes them.
And that is what you've said just rings true on so many levels for me. And I think for women, it's compounded by the expectations that we put on ourselves.
Definitely. And they're worried what others will think of them. They just don't have that. They're all really capable women. Like, some of them are amazing designers, stylists, decorators, but they just have this fear that it's not going to work, or they're not going to find clients, or they're not going to resonate with clients. So a lot of the program, I have to say, is about working on their mindset. And look, I have to continually work on that. We've spoken about that, you and I. Like, it's an ongoing process. You've got to keep working on your mindset, on your personal development. And one of the biggest takeouts or that I get back from them is, it's just so nice to be in a space with like-minded women. We are all in the same boat. Well, maybe a different boat on the same sea, I don't know, but we're all the same. We really are. It's so uncanny how so many of them at varying ages can all have the same thought processes.
And again, I think it's the pressure that I see so many businesswomen, myself included, that we put on ourselves to do all the things and to get it all perfect and to hit certain milestones and to do things in a certain way. But also, gosh, we can't ever let the barriers down, and we can't ever let people know that we've got self-confidence issues, or that we've got doubt, or that we're not quite sure, or that we don't know what we're doing. And I know from knowing you and from listening to other people talk about your mentor program, I know that the support that's offered helps work through that, to give people that strength, I suppose, to keep going. Because the self-doubt, yes, the mindset work is not set and forget, because the self-doubt, to some degree, it's always there for business owners, but I see it a lot in women. The doubt is there, the not knowing is there, and being our own harshest critic and thinking that we're supposed to know all the things and do all the things, it can be paralysing, as you say, and the fear is on so many levels. And it's really interesting that you say that.
Yeah, it's almost like you need to give them permission to start and permission to fail. Like, if I say to them, it's okay if you get it wrong. We're all going to get things wrong, as we know. And it's okay. Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving. Just keep taking those steps forward. I mean, and the beauty is that they're in the group and they hear this from all the other women in the group. And so they go, okay, it's okay if I fail. You know, I'm not the only one that thinks like this. And that's really often all it takes for them to move forward, that recognition that they're not the only one.
And that's so powerful, so powerful.
It's feel good.
It is. That is exactly what it is.
It's so feel good. It really is a really feel good opportunity to, just to help them and guide them. And I feel lucky. They have great feedback, but I actually feel really lucky that they trust me to help them and to guide them. And come on, we've got this. We can do this.
Well, that's a nice dovetail into what else I wanted to talk about, which is how I feel working with my clients, and you in particular as well, guiding you and helping you through the often complicated and not particularly sexy field of legal requirements and legal obligations in business.
Yeah, it's scary. Well, it can be. I think in the past I've thought of it as being a bit scary.
Well, I think most people do until they understand that it's really not that scary. But it unfortunately can be very overwhelming. So that's why I do what I do. similarly aligned with why you do what you do, to help women understand that it doesn't have to be overwhelming and scary, and that it really can be empowering when we work together to get it all done, which is what you and I did when we were working on your documents to set you up.
I think it is empowering, and I think once you've got a really easygoing nature, so I find it really easy to talk to you about it. But the biggest thing I find even in the group is a lot of the women, they just think that cutting and pasting their legals is, copying someone else's and pasting it is going to hold up if something goes wrong. So we actually spend quite a bit of time talking about it, that probably is not the way to go, and that they need to not do that. And
Yes.
we probably even give each other examples of, in this day and age, as you would well and truly know, things go wrong. When you're in an interiors business and you're ordering clients sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, particularly when they're in new builds, it's a big risk. And if you're not covered properly, you think it's never going to happen to you. But from my experience, it does. You would know that too from all what you hear. But my biggest thing with the ladies is that I still can't believe how many people still copy and paste their legals.
And I think that comes from we don't know what we don't know. And much like the mantra I have with my parenting, when we know better, we do better. And same in business. When we know better, we do better. So I suppose the messaging that you and I come together on is educating and empowering so that women know better, and then they can do better. Because you're right, I do know the things that can go wrong, because I spent the first 12 or so years of my career in dispute resolution and litigation, and I saw it all go wrong. And more often than not, it was over money. And it doesn't take much to bring someone unstuck, and we know that. We've seen it. That's why we do what we do, which is why we're here. Kylie, when does your next mentoring round start?
I'm in the middle of round 2 at the moment, so it's always live. So once this one finishes, I tend to run them on school terms, to be honest. So the next one is starting October 11. So we run them on a Monday night at 8 p.m. And that's probably going to be the last round for 2021. Next round starts October 11.
And how can listeners find you? So how can they find out a bit more about this?
So there's a page on my website on goldchalk.com.au, which lists all the details about what we cover through the mentor program. And also I love hanging out in Instagram. So I'm there at goldchalk. And all of the details, I'm always banging on about something about the mentor program or interiors on there. So that's where I hang out mostly.
Amazing. Thank you. And we will include details of your website and your Instagram handle in the show notes to make it really easy for people to get in touch with you and follow you. Your page is beautiful. I very much enjoy seeing what you post.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me to have this chat today, Kylie. It has been such a valuable chat, and the insight, I think, will resonate with so many business owners. But before you go, I have 3 quick questions I'd like to ask you, if that's all right.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay. Number 1, what is the best business advice that you have received?
Best business advice. Probably not just business, but I grew up with a saying, give up, never won a race. I find that it's so applicable in business, in that you just can't give up. You just got to keep going. And regardless of what is thrown at you, you just got to dust yourself off, get back up and keep going. And don't give up. If it's your dream, don't give up. You'll get it. If you're passionate, if you're so passionate, you will get it.
I like it.
Yes, I feel it. I feel that one.
Number 2, what is the worst business advice that you have received?
Probably that as women, we can have it all and do it all. Yeah, and I think sometimes balancing children, study, our goals, our dreams, our careers is really a tricky balancing act. So, probably getting the balance, like the balance is never right, I find, for me. And I find that with a lot of women, we just being okay with that. Like, it's never going to be an even balance. You just got to juggle and attend to what you need to attend to when you need to attend to it. and be okay with that.
That is some good advice. The third and last, if you had the chance, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Probably there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a
just
lot.
that the path isn't probably as linear as you think, and you will get there. You might, divert a couple of times, but I'm a firm believer that there's more than one way to get to your end goal, and don't be stuck if the first way you don't get there. You will get there.
Love that. And I think a lot of listeners will be able to take a lot from that as well. Thank you, Kylie. Thank you again for joining me, and thank you for sharing your answers. That was very, very helpful, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Tracy. I've loved it. It's been so nice to have us be on your podcast. Thanks.
Thank you. That's it for today's episode. Short and sharp, just like I promised. If you liked the episode, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes, and I would be most grateful if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts. As always, remember to keep your business legals in order with my annual legal checklist. You can grab your free copy by heading over to my website, tmsolicitor.com.au/checklist. I'll catch you next week. Thanks so much for listening.